Welcome to episode 2 of the Contrarian podcast. My name is Hriday Mehta, and today joining me will be Mehak Agarwal, who's a student at Jai Hind. She's studying philosophy and has a few insights on the topic that we are going to talk about today. So, last time we tackled the issue of existentialism. Today, we are going to talk about some of the most fundamental concepts that our lives, everything we strive towards, revolves around. And these concepts are wealth, fame, and power. So, what we are going to discuss is the fact that we spend our entire lives trying to achieve one of these things. We go to work to earn wealth, we try our best to get as famous as possible, whether it's getting famous as a world renowned artist or just being the funniest guy on your WhatsApp group. Fame, wealth, and power is something that fundamentally every human craves. So, today we are going to talk about these three issues and discuss, are they really worth it? So, let's begin by talking about wealth. I'm sure you have all heard the famous saying, more money, more problems. But yet, anyways, most of us strive towards earning the maximum amount of wealth we can, and we pretty much base our entire happiness on the amount of wealth we have. Your social status, the type of education you get, pretty much everything you do right now is based on the things you have. Even your respect depends on the stuff you own and the material things you have. So I'm going to begin by asking Mehek, what exactly is her view on wealth, and what exactly do you think about the entire human need to have wealth and to basically keep earning more?
I feel like the way we view wealth and like materialism surely has like a significant effect on how satisfied and happy we are with our lives. Because I feel like money can be a tool to motivate us to achieve major milestones in our life, which can make us feel happier in the long run. So when people say that money cannot buy happiness, I don't completely agree to it because money is important to happiness. Like ask anyone who doesn't have it. If we are to talk about the migrants right now, the whole migrant situation, we can see that okay, at the end of the day they have someone to rely on. They have their wives, they have their children, but at the end of the day none of them are satisfied because they don't have food. They don't even have one square meal a day. So to completely base off the argument by saying that money cannot buy happiness seems a little baseless to me.
Okay, that's an interesting insight. So, one thing I believe is that if something can give you happiness, it should be able to give you happiness in every situation and pretty much every time. So, if money does buy you happiness, then money should buy everyone happiness. So, the thing is, we had spoken about the true nature of things in our previous podcast. And one thing we learned was that if something is a nature of an object, say if it's sugar's nature to be sweet, sugar will always be sweet no matter what the circumstances. So, do you
Correct.
believe that it is the nature of money to give people happiness? Or is it
No,
just something that accompanies money occasionally?
no, I obviously like there is a threshold to how much happiness money can buy because we have all heard that what good is money if at the end of the day you don't have anybody to share it with. I believe that monetary affluence opens up doors leading to happiness, but it does not directly buy happiness. It is indirectly linked to it.
Okay, so you talk about the fact that money gives you an avenue for people to share it with. But isn't it true that even people who don't have that much can be content sharing whatever limited things they have with people who they care about? So
Of
the thing
course,
is, you have people who have a lot of money and they don't have people to share it with, because when you get a lot of money at some point, there's always that insecurity that people are after your money and not after you. And then you have people who are really content with the limited amount of money they have. So even if you look at like influential figures throughout history, a lot
hmm,
of the people have been content with having a limited amount of money. If you look at people ranging from like freedom fighters like Mahatma Gandhi or Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, all of them lived relatively simple lives. And even if you look at today's influential figures like the Dalai Lama, a lot of the people don't preach wealth as an objective to happiness. And these people,
uh,
I mean, they seem perfectly happy.
This is not to say that money can exactly buy happiness. There are obviously more important things than money, which is basically like family, friends, love, affection. This is not to say that money is synonymous to happiness. What I'm saying is, I personally feel like a major part of being satisfied with your life comes from money, because at the end of the day, like, we spend our whole lives, striving to achieve wealth. We earn a degree because we are interested to know about it, and like, we want to pursue knowledge and everything, but in the long run we do it so that we can have secure jobs. Why do poor people, like the maids who come at our homes and everything, why are they getting their children educated? So that they can have better jobs and they don't have to work the same way that these people are working. It's all so that they can acquire wealth in the longer run and like lead more secure lives than the ones they are living right.
Okay, so you spoke about satisfaction, how wealth brings satisfaction. So, one thing we do need to understand is that people are taught to earn wealth because they have been taught that wealth brings you satisfaction, and it is only through wealth that you can achieve any form of happiness. So, I think today's society is entirely based around the concept that you have to earn as much as you can, and pretty much the whole ideal of capitalism revolves around the fact that the only form of happiness is materialistic. But if you look at the fact that even the richest billionaires right now, how many of them can you say are actually satisfied with what they have? I mean, at some point, whenever you earn money, you're always wanting more. It's kind of like alcohol, where you've had one shot, but after that one shot, you want more. And the same way, the amount of money you need to get to that level of high, to get to that level of satisfaction, is always increasing. So technically, I mean, how many people are actually satisfied with the amount of money they have?
I'm not advocating that wealth is the only way that can lead to satisfaction, because that is wrong in every respect. We get a lot of satisfaction and contentment out of pursuing things that we like, by forming deeper human connections, by getting to know ourselves better. To say that money is the only road that leads to satisfaction is something that is completely wrong. And I totally agree that the more you get, the more you want, because everything has a downfall too. Like, money has some positives, that it can buy you satisfaction and it can get you happiness in certain forms, but then there's a lot of insecurity and problems that surround it as well.
I'm glad you brought up the topic of insecurity because when the amount of wealth increases, there is also a greater sense of fear and a greater sense of responsibility to maintain that. Now, suppose there are two people getting onto a train, and one guy has no money, but the other guy has a briefcase full of diamonds. Which one do you think would be more afraid?
Of course, it would be the guy with the no wallet.
So, the thing is, you spoke about people not having wealth, not being content. But the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of people with wealth who aren't content as well. Now, maybe, yes, you do need a certain amount of money to live a comfortable life, but there's a difference between being comfortable and being happy. And what people are trying to do right now is that they are trying to chase a certain amount of wealth which is far beyond what is comfortable, and they are trying to obtain a certain sense of happiness from that wealth. And basically, that's where the stress comes in, that's where the insecurities come in. Now, Einstein had famously said that the amount of money you have with you at the time of death is the amount of money that you did not need. Also, we had spoken in our last podcast about the fact that all these physical objects around you are just things associated with you and could go away at any time. Now, let's go back to that example of two people on the train. Suppose
Yeah.
that one guy, the guy who had a briefcase, he dropped it while getting off the train, and
Mm-hmm.
the other guy who was getting off, he dropped his wallet. Which one do you think would be more who would be like more saddened by this
It would,
loss?
of course, be the guy with the briefcase, because I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy must have worked hard to get those diamonds, to get the wealth that he has right now. And that's what I'm trying to say. With money, it, like, definitely more responsibility comes your way. I mean, no one can deny that fact.
Okay, so I'd like to address your first point first, about the fact that the man with the briefcase has probably worked really hard to achieve it. So I'd like to talk about 2 points. Firstly, that this man we're talking about has worked very hard to earn this wealth, and the fact that he could lose it all so easily, like just in a flash of a second, doesn't it show that all that he had worked for, all that he had strived to achieve, all his hopes, all his desires, just amounted to one misstep while getting onto the train? It just
Right.
amounted to the fact
Okay.
that you can lose it all in 1 second. And
It talks about the futility of the entire concept of wealth. Like you could all
exactly.
just lose it in a moment.
And you have a lot of celebrities, a lot of rich people, billionaires who have lost all their money. So you have someone like Charlie Sheen, who used to be the highest paid actor in all of TV, who still is the actor to receive like the highest paycheck per episode. But right now, the kind of life he lives clearly shows that money wasn't giving him enough. The fact that he took to drugs, the fact that he took to relations with multiple women showed that his money wasn't giving him what he wanted.
I would
And
like to add to that. Of course, I believe that having more wealth also opens a lot of doors to things that you shouldn't be doing, substance abuse, like you said, because then you get easy access to these things.
so I think one thing we need to focus on is the fact that people, regardless of their wealth or not, feel a need to exploit certain substances to give them happiness. Whether it is a poor village husband or whether it is someone like Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. The fact is that I think it's a brilliant example of the fact that you can pretty much lose all your money any day, and also that despite all this money you still have to resort to other things in order to get happiness. Also, given that we have talked about Charlie Sheen, one another concept I'd like to bring in is fame, because fame, unlike money, is not a tangible thing. It's not something you can measure, but it is still something that humans strive to achieve. And if you look at the group of people who are famous and the group of people who are really rich, like these are two different sects of people. So if you have billionaires like Jeff Bezos and you have your famous celebrities, these are the people who aren't aspiring to have the maximum amount of money or power. It's just approval from people that they crave.
It's not about the people that they crave. So it's basically like they want to showcase their talent to the world. I mean, if you have a local band, like let's talk about the local train. They started out very small, but now look where they are. I don't think they were looking for fame per se, but they were just looking for people that would recognize their talent and appreciate them for what they have.
So I think people appreciating you for what you have and people appreciating you for your talent is pretty much the whole idea behind getting famous, is that you seek approval from everyone. You want people to like you. Like that's the whole idea behind fame, right? You want people to like you. And the thing about fame is similar to money, it doesn't last forever. If you look at someone like Elvis Presley, who is one of the greatest artists of all time, he couldn't handle the fact that at one point he wasn't as famous as he was before. And it was this idea in his head that pretty much led to the downward spiral in his life, which led to him dying at 40. And even if you look at celebrities who are famous right now, there are people who simply cannot handle their fame. If you look at a lot of the rappers today who have died because of a drug overdose, it's again the fact that fame brings along its own set of challenges. You don't get to live a normal life anymore.
Another set of issue that fame brings about is that it makes you more prone to the outside world. So like an example would be this episode of Black Mirror in which a journalist was killed because she wrote a very political article. And I mean, that's what got her killed, fame in the first place. Another good example would be Priyanka Chopra from the movie Fashion. Her career started tumbling down. She was a model and then she wasn't as famous anymore. She took to wrong things and that ultimately led to her downfall. So obviously fame is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either.
So I think we can say something similar for the whole idea of power. Now, similarly to fame, while fame is the whole idea of being liked by other people, power is based on the will to control people. Now, you do have people who take up positions of power to do good for the world, but you also have people who, once they get that feeling of power, it's really hard for them to get rid of it. And these are the type of people I'd like to talk about. So you have someone like Julius Caesar, who was elected a democratic leader of a country, but at the end of the day, he got so high on that power, he just couldn't let it go, to the point where it eventually led to his own death. You also have people like Hitler or Stalin who take advantage of this power, who take advantage of the control they have over the world, of other people's lives, in order to get their own vested interest pushed, and in order to get their own views of the world, their own ideologies forced upon other people.
I feel like the hypnotic attraction of power, it blinds us to our inner value. Outer value is a far cry from inner value, and quite frankly, like I see very little valuing of inner value in today's society.
Exactly. And a lot of the times when you don't value yourself enough, you crave the attention of other people. And an interesting fact is that it's not only, say, Taylor Swift who's famous for singing. So my point is that it's not only famous people who crave that amount of satisfaction from other people, but it's also all of us who crave a certain level of fame. Like if you look at the
Right.
number of Facebook followers we have, or the number of Instagram likes we get on our pictures, the fact is that all of us crave fame and power in some way or the other.
Right. Even if at a very small level.
And similarly to wealth, we are always left wanting more.
I mean, I would like to bring in a point here that, I mean, I feel like there's a very good reason why, like, virtually every one of us who seek power or fame, eventually, like, we feel immensely unsatisfied once we achieve it. And I think, I think it's because at an existential level, we just discover how indispensable they are under a system. I mean, just how instrumental their value really is. People don't want to feel instrumental, they want to feel valued for who they are, like, authentically. And sometimes we just fail to realize that.
So, on that note, we'd like to leave you guys with a question. What do you think about fame, wealth, and power? Do you think it's something that humans should spend their entire lives trying to achieve? Or do you think there is something greater than these three worldly materialistic concepts that we should focus our lives on? Do you think that fame, wealth, and power are actually worth it? Something to think about. Thank you for listening and keep thinking.